Welcome. We're here today with a couple of members of the Elspec hardware team, Aritesh Nand and Peter McLean. And we're here to talk about and clear up a few misconceptions about security door locks, hinged and sliding doors. So for the benefit of the audience, Peter, could you just go through the basics of that hinged door product that you've got in front of you?
This is your typical hinged door lock. We've got the outside furniture plate with the lever, that's your gain entry. And then on the inside, it's a very similar plate with the lever, but on the inside you've got two screw holes, one for the top, one for the bottom. That's used to fix the handles together. There's an internal snib for internal locking, and then there is a cylinder as well, which goes from the inside also to the outside.
So to the layman, that looks like a security door lock. What makes it a security door lock?
There's a couple of features within the lock, that all the accessories that goes with the lock to make it a security door lock. The main important part is the cylinder that goes in there. That's a good starting point to actually have a 5-pin cylinder. There is 5 disc and a 10 disc available in the market, but it needs to have a 5-pin cylinder to pass Australian standards.
So it has to have a 5-pin cylinder to be a security door lock?
Correct, that's correct.
So are there other locks or lock cylinders that can go in that lock?
Yeah, there are other ones. We've got a 10 disc cylinder here that doesn't comply to Australian standards. It's easy to identify these ones because there are little grooves or cuts on the top part of the key and also on the bottom. The cylinder is a great deal shorter. This is a 5-pin cylinder. The key is a lot bigger. So if you compare the key sizes, the 5-pin key is a lot bigger and it only cuts on one side compared to 2. The visual of the cylinder as well, the size is different. The top one is the pin cylinder, the bottom one is the 10 disc cylinder, so it's a fair bit difference in there as well. Is
there a cost difference between a pin cylinder and disc cylinder?
Yeah, there is a price difference between the two. The pin cylinder is a few dollars more, but the biggest difference that you're going to find is having a pin cylinder will make the door a security door. If you use a 10 disc or a 5 disc, it makes it a barrier door, which is not a security door.
Another thing that makes it a security product, I believe, is the multi-point function.
Yep.
Can you explain the multi-point function, please?
Yeah, well, the multi-point or the triple lock is installed through the back of the lock body itself, so it goes in there either by a rod or a cable. So this is our cable version that goes into the back of the lock, and we also do have a rod that goes into the back, so different brands will have different connecting pieces to the lock, but they all connect into the back of the lock, and then once the snib or the key is thrown, that will actually activate the main center lock body plus also the top and bottom auxiliary points, which will then give you that 3-point fixing or triple locking.
So the triple locking in conjunction with the pin cylinder makes that a security door lock?
Yes.
Which is twice the price of a barrier lock?
Generally, yes.
So Peter, are there different type of engagement methods for hinged door locks?
Yes, there is. There's the most common projection bolt, like this one here, but then also some of the brands do actually have a hook bolt which will hook up underneath the striker that looks like that. So
in summary, what are the clear differences between a barrier lock and a security door lock?
Well, the most common visual one that you can see when for a barrier door is having a 5 disc or a 10 disc cylinder within the lock body. Generally it doesn't have a triple lock kit, so that's where it only becomes a barrier door.
And the security door lock
has to have a 5-pin cylinder in it, plus it has to have the triple lock kit that actually goes with it to become a Australian standard security door lock, or needs all of those components together.
Okay, so when we have a customer asking for a security door lock, we have to find out what features they want. Do they want the multi-point? Do they want the 5-pin cylinder? And if not, then it's just a barrier lock and it's significantly cheaper. Is that right?
That's correct.
Let's get on to the other option now, which is the sliding door offer that we have. Okay, Peter, can you go through the construction of this sliding product?
Okay, like the hinge door one, on the inside we do have our lever on the inside to open and close the door. We do have an internal snib. We also have the cylinder that goes through from the inside through to the outside, and then on the outside we do have a lever as well to gain entry. Each there's on the inside and the outside there's a hole for the screws to go through to fix the door together, and then you have your latch on the inside.
Just looking at that now, the striker seems different. What shape is that?
All sliders actually have a hook there which will engage into a strike like that, so it'll hook up underneath to give you your security and your strength.
Okay, so do we have the same issues with the sliding product as we did with the hinge product, in that a barrier door versus a security product?
Yes, we do. Again, we do have our 5-pin cylinder. We also have a 10-disc cylinder, and then we have a 5-disc cylinder. Both the 5 and the 10-disc cylinders don't comply to Australian standards. Again, they are a lot smaller. The 5-disc and the 10-disc are the same size, but the 5-pin cylinder is a lot bigger, so it's easier to identify. And also, again, the key for a 5-pin is a lot bigger than for the 5-disc key, and then your 10-disc key has the cuts on both sides, where the 5-pin only has cuts on one side. So a 5-pin cylinder is only a cylinder that can go into an Australian standard security door.
And multi-point options?
So yeah, we do have the triple lock kit that goes with it. It is a sliding triple lock kit that has to be used within that. As a hook that will engage into the striker. There is a cable lock option for some brands, and then also a rod for some brands as well. Together with the 5-pin cylinder and your security door lock, that will give you a door, the hardware to make an Australian standards door.
Okay, so in summary, what's the difference between a barrier door lock in a sliding application and a security door lock?
A barrier door lock is would be the cylinder straight up. To look at it is not having either 5-disc or a 10-disc cylinder in there. And then generally no triple lock kit. So it would just be a single lock with a 5-disc cylinder or a 10-disc cylinder would be a barrier door.
And the security product?
Your door lock with a 5-pin cylinder, and then with the appropriate triple lock kit that will go in there, will then give you the hardware for an Australian standards door.
And there's a significant price difference between a barrier and a security product?
Yes, there's the extra cost for the triple lock kit and the cylinder, but these are required if you want to have a security door.